Camera again. I swear it's different. It wants it different every time I come on. There we go. Oh, are we upside down? I certainly hope not. There we go. Okay, here we go. I purchased a new phone stand because the one that I use is getting wobbly. It's old. It's probably like 8 years old. And I had it, I thought, ready to go. And about 2 minutes ago, as I was setting up the live and kind of positioning my products and everything, the phone stand dropped my phone. So I said, nope, we're not going to try it. We're going to stick with the old wobbly one. And hopefully by next time, I'm going to have my husband try to get that perfectly set up for me. But we are here today with the Unity Ornamental Pines bundle. It is a rubber stamp. Here's the rubber stamp. It's A2 sized. I'm going to pop this out here so that we can all see it. As people are coming in, I'll kind of take the products out. So in the Ornamental Pines bundle, you're going to get everything that you see here in the middle of my work surface. A stamp, coordinating stencil, there's dies, and then the 2 new Unity and Deco Foil transfer sheets, which are, when I saw them, I immediately emailed my contact at ThermOWeb and said, are these going to be available forever or just in the kit? Because I love them. They are glitter. They're like no foil that I've seen before. The ThermOWeb has lots of different textured foils, but these are glittered, and these are really, really pretty. Hi, buddy. So for those of you who have been watching me go live with ThermOWeb before, you might remember my son, Jackson. He's here today. You can say hi. Oh, here, yeah, he's working on his tools today. There's no school for a while, so he's so excited to be here. It's been a long time since he's been able to come live with me. Say hi. Hi. All right, go ahead. You go play with your toys, okay? Alrighty, so let's look at this stamp set. This stamp set has 5, I have to double check my math, 5 pieces. It's this one big A2 rubber background stamp, but these 4 middle trees, they actually pop right out. Pop out and they pop back in. I find it easiest to put it down on my work surface flat and pop them back in. It helps if you line up the right tree with the right hole. But they pop right in, pop right out. So there's a lot of things you can do with this background. And today I'm going to show you how I like to stamp it for a background, so all together. But then we're going to use the coordinating dies. Let's find those. It has a die to cut out each one of those 4 trees that pop out from the background. So we're going to do both ways today. We're going to be using the dies to cut out some trees, and we're going to be using the full background. There's also this amazing detail stencil. Now the stencil is 6x6, which I love. It makes it easy to work with. There's like blank edges or blank room on the side, so it's easy to pick up and position. And I'm not sure, it's not going to line up perfectly because the stamp is technically backwards, but it's going to line up right on top of your trees. Let me grab the card that I made. I actually have 2 that I could show you because I made one for the Instagram hop yesterday. And if you haven't hopped along the Instagram hop, you definitely should. They are giving away a total of 6 prizes. So here's the card I made for the Instagram hop. So you can see I used that Ornamental Pines background stamp, and then I used that coordinating stencil along with Transfer Gel Duo, which we'll be using in this video. And check out that shine. I used the gold glitter foil. I loved this card, and it was so easy to make. And that Mary is from the Ornamental Pines die set as well. The die set has the words, and they're all separate, so that's how I was able to stack my Marys. It has Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. So you could say Happy Christmas, Merry Holidays, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, or just use them individually like I did on my card. Jackson, baby boy. Okay. Alrighty, so there's a bunch of people here. Let's go ahead and jump in to today's card. Here is what we are going to make today. So this one has some non-traditional colors. I am not sure what is going on. Oh, goodness gracious, with my phone. I used to come live on my iPad, and then it started doing this weird thing where the camera would jump around. And so I started using my phone. For about 3 months, I used my phone, and it went really, really well. And now I feel like we pay an arm and a leg for a phone service that doesn't want to connect to the internet. So I have just gone on to the network. I've signed off from my internet. So hopefully that picture gets clearer soon. But here's the card we're going to make today. So I use that Ornamental Pines background stamp for my background. But then I have a whole bunch of individual little trees that I cut out and used the silver glitter foil. Since I used the gold glitter foil already in my craft room, I thought I would use the silver. And this one has a non-traditional color palette. And I've used some other ThermOWeb products. I have some white glitz glitter gel in the background here just for some added effect. And I used some flock for my sentiment. It's so hard to pick it up on camera, the fuzziness of the flock, but I just love it. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start with my background, and keeping with the non-traditional color palette. Oh my gosh, I sure hope that, let's see. I'm going to shift these off to the side here. And I have just a plain piece of white cardstock. I love that you can stamp on any color cardstock. Like for my one for the hop, I did craft cardstock. I've seen some people stamp on other colored cardstock. Jackson, please no. But for today's card, I decided to go kind of light and happy, and we're gonna go with white. So let me grab my handy dandy little Misty. She's around here somewhere. You don't have it. I took it back from you. My son was crafting today, and he took a whole bunch of my things, and so I had to go before the live steal them back from him. Even though he has his own, he needs mine. So here is the background stamp. It comes with this little white piece on here, and that's just to protect the backer. I'm not even sure you have to keep it on there. I do, just because, but I'm going to peel it off. What, baby?
I can't find my little Misty.
You can't find your little Misty? Okay, Mommy will help you find your little Misty. Is that why you took mine?
You use mine?
No, I'm not using yours. I'm using mine. I will help you find it when I'm done working here, okay? Okay. You want to be sure, because this is red rubber, that you take out that foam mouse pad insert. Otherwise, if I put this in here, you're going to see that this literally doesn't close. So if you make the mistake of putting it in there, you're going to know pretty much immediately, oops, got to take out that mouse pad insert. Now for this, I want to stamp a full background. And the easiest way that I have found to stamp a full background image when you're using a red rubber stamp, because you can't see through the red rubber, is to line up your panel. So I'm going to line that up so that it's pretty flush against the bottom and the side. If I'm off a little bit, that's okay. I'll trim it down. I did end up trimming down my panel for my sample. And then I have my ThermOWeb tape runner, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of tape runner there. And then I close the back of the Misty. And so that paper is stuck inside my Misty now, and I can stamp it. I wanted a minty color background, so I'm going to go, I have some Distress Oxide ink. You're going to see me use a mixture of inks on this card. Truly does not matter what kind of inks you use. And as I'm working here, if you guys have any questions at all, oh, thank you for saying that it's better now. Yes, it was buffering. Hopefully it is better now because I turned off my Wi-Fi. There's a couple tricks. When I told my husband that I've been having some trouble going live, he gave me some tricks. I'm pretty technologically not savvy at all. And so he said, here's some things you can do real quick that should help. So hopefully it is better, because I tried one of those tricks and it seems to have worked. So I'm using some oxide ink, only because I'm not using any kind of technique on the background. Oh, I'm looking for my little pressure. Here it is. Jackson used that too. I'm going to press this down, and I might have to re-ink. Oh, it looks pretty good, but I'm going to re-ink one more time.
It was here for.
And then we're going to have that full background panel. Really easy to use. This whole bundle is so easy to mass produce Christmas cards.
It was here for.
And that should do it. There we go. So a background, good to go. I'm not going to use the layering stencil on here. You definitely could. In my card that I did for the hop, I stamped a background panel, and then I put the stencil right on top and did the foiling on there. But I'm just going to leave this background to the side. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And I'm going to clean this off. And then we're going to do some more stamping because I want to create some trees for the foreground that we can die cut. And I'm actually going to show you a way to put a little bit of spin on the dies, and you'll see that in just a second. So that ink is pretty clean off of there. We're going non-traditional colors. So I'm going to grab a bright green and kind of a teal colored ink. And I'm just going to stamp these up. Yes, but buddy, you need to wait, okay, because mommy's working right now. Jackson, please. I'm going to pop a new piece of white cardstock in. And this one doesn't really matter because I'm only looking to stamp these 4 trees in the center, those individual trees that we're going to be able to die cut out. So I'm going to stamp those down. They turned out pretty good too.
Reading live with your friends too.
Okay, we'll talk about it later, okay? Okay. Go ahead and play.
I can't find my screwdriver.
You can't find your screwdriver? That sounds like a horrible problem to have. Did you check your toolbox?
Yes.
Okay, we'll check again. Alrighty, I'm going to clean off that ink, and then I'm going to do the same thing again with a bright green ink. I've done a bit of stamping beforehand, so I have some trees all cut and ready to go, but these were the ones that I wanted some extra of. So again, I'm just concentrating my inking on the 4 trees in the center. Jackson, buddy, I need you to lower the volume. Thank you. Going to ink this up, concentrating on those 4 trees in the center, since that's what I'm going to be using my stencil for and die cutting. There we go. Looks perfect. Don't worry about that outside. We're going to trim that away and not even use that at all. I'm all done with my stamping, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick clean. I don't like to leave ink sitting on my stamps because then I won't clean it before the next time I use it. I always clean it now. So if I leave the ink on there, I will never remember to wipe it off, and then I'll make mud. So I'm going to give that a quick clean and set that to the side. Don't need that anymore.
Did you talk to your friends in one moment?
Nobody. I need you to go play for one moment. Thank you.
Hey, we need
What do you need to tell them?
we get your friends.
Okay, very quickly.
Hello. They shot my gun. Sorry for smoke.
Oh, he has his Nerf gun, so he said, sorry for the noise, sorry for the smoke from his Nerf gun. Alrighty, so we have now the 3 panels that we stamped. This one's my background, and I'm going to start doing, Jackson, I do need you to do that in the other room, though. I'm going to start doing my wet mediums now that all my stamping is done. So I have just a little, this stencil happens to be from Miss Ink Stamps, but if you have any kind of like little dots pattern, that's all I used because I just wanted to have some subtle snow in the background. I'm going to add this on. You could spray this with pixie spray. I'll be spraying the detail stencil with pixie spray, but because this one's a chunkier stencil, I'm just going to grab some purple tape. This formula of tape is pressure activated. So if you give it a little bit of press, a little bit of pressure, you'll be good to go. So I'm just going to put that on, give that a little pressure, and my cardstock is not going anywhere. That purple tape's going to hold on strong. Bring your child to work. Yeah, school is out for a while now, so he's here with me, which is what we used to do before he started school in September, and now he's back with me. So some of you might remember his little voice. Some of you who are new here have never crafted along with me and Jax, and it's a crazy time when he's here. So I have some white glitz glitter gel. I'm gonna scoop just a little bit out. I used an oxide ink on the background here, so this ink may react with the glitz glitter gel. So I'm just gonna scoop out a little bit, scrape that across the top there, and then I'm gonna grab my stencil pal and just spread this down to the bottom. Think of it like if you're icing a big cake. I am not a baker, so I don't even know. Do they call it a spatula? That's always what I think of I'm doing. Like sometimes I see those things on TikTok where they're taking a big spatula and like spreading the icing all the way across. That's how I feel like I'm doing when I'm using glitz glitter gel with the stencil pal. I'm going to scrape the rest. Thank you, buddy. Jackson tells me I'm doing it right, so that's all the affirmation that I need. I'm going to clean off my supplies before that glitz glitter gel dries onto there, including wiping the rim of your glitz glitter gel. And you'll see me do this with my duo gel too. You always want to wipe, I just stuck my lid in there. You always want to wipe the rims of your supplies. That way it forms a tight seal. Then I'm going to go ahead and peel the stencil off of my background. And I love that purple tape because it's going to hold on tight to my stencil, but it's not going to tear my cardstock. So I can just pop that right off the back, no problems whatsoever. And here is my pretty glitzy background. So there's some glitter in there, there's some texture in there, which was really what I wanted, was that little bit of raised dimension in the background. I'm going to set that aside somewhere safe to dry because I have a really bad habit of sticking my hands into things that I have recently gelled. Then I'm just going to wipe the stencil off with a baby wipe. I have another trick for my detail stencils. I clean different stencils differently. So this stencil is what I would call a chunky stencil. See how there's lots of actual stencil? Buddy, other room, please, with your toys. Thank you. So I'm able to easily wipe that off with a baby wipe, and I just go across a couple times and get all of that off. And then I'll come in with a dry cloth and wipe that away. And that stencil is good to put away, good to go for next time. Now we're going to do some detail stenciling. And we're going to use that Ornamental Pines detail stencil. Okay, go ahead. You play your wrestling. Okay, they know. Yeah, they can hear me. When I talk, they can hear me. He's like, tell them, tell them. Okay, so here's the detail stamp from the Ornamental Pine stamp set. I have some pixie spray already on here because I did some sample pieces last night. This is the Transfer Gel Duo from Deco Foil. It's going to take a couple of hours to dry. So I went ahead and did mine last night so that it would be dry for this morning. So I already have some pixie spray on there. So excuse my head if I get in the way, but you really do want to line this up. And I am looking at the stars, making sure that they're going to line up on top of the trees. And then I'm going to press that in place. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit because I feel it looks different. Oh, goodness gracious. That might be better. Okay. It looks different on my phone versus on my computer. And on my phone, it looks like I'm way zoomed in. But when I look over to my computer screen, I was not. So here we go. That stencil is on there. Now I have my brayer. And what I like to do is flip this over to the back and brayer that on. There is nothing on my brayer, no ink or anything. I'm just really pressing that in place so that that stencil, see how it's all detailed? There's all these little lines in here. I know that that's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to pop open my Duo Gel. Oh, they're saying it looks good to us. Okay. Well, if I'm too close, then let me know. I'm going to just spread some of this on here. And I'm only focusing on these 4 trees. These are the ones that are the full and complete trees. What, buddy?
Don't tell anybody.
Okay, you go ahead. I will. Go. He wanted me to tell you all he's going to play his video games now. So hopefully it gets much quieter here. I'm going to use my palette knife to spread that out, but then I'm grabbing my stencil pal because this is going to allow me to get a nice and even layer of this Duo Gel. What, buddy bear? Okay, mommy can't help you right now. So if you can't do that, why don't you play with Legos? Mommy's not going to be on for long. Okay? I'm going to spread this out nice and evenly so that it gets on all 4 of those trees. Scraping the excess back in. Now I stamped this background with a hybrid ink. So I am not concerned at all about any contamination with reactivation of the ink. Sometimes if you use a dye ink or like the distress inks, the gels kind of reactivate the ink, and so you might get some discoloration. But since I used a hybrid ink, they are not water reactive, so they are not going to react. I'm going to peel that off and check that out. So this is how the Duo Gel looks when it is wet. See how it's white? It's kind of shiny, but it's most definitely white. That's how you know that it's wet. See? Looks cool. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm grabbing my second panel. I did not clean my stencil. I did not reapply my pixie spray. I'm just going to press this one back on here. Now, instead of using my brayer for this one, because I don't want to flip it over, I'm just going to come across with my stencil pal without any medium. And I'm going to use that flat surface to press that stencil in place. Then I'll scoop out a bit more of that Duo Gel, kind of get it in place a little bit, and then use that flat side of my stencil pal to spread that out. Again, just as if you're icing a cake, so don't go over it a whole bunch. Just get a nice even layer. The only tree that ever gives me a tiny problem is this one here. So you want to go with the grain of your stencil. And see how this one kind of goes side to side? So I go like this instead of like this because that's going to give you the smoothest application. Yes, Sarah, after the live, you can rewatch this. In addition, as soon as this live ends, I will be putting links to all of the products that I use in the video description. So you'll be able to see that there. Watch out, buddy bear, please. Thank you. So just like with my Glitz Glitter Gel, I'm grabbing a baby wipe and I'm going to wipe off my tools as well as the rim of that Duo Gel, because any Duo Gel that is on the top of the rim is going to interfere with the seal and you're not going to get a tight seal, and so that's why your gels dry out faster. Let's peel off.
Don't forget, clean off here.
My stencil?
No, clean off.
Oh yes, okay, don't forget, I will. So there's that other Duo Gel background. And I'm going to set that aside. See how it's nice and white? I'm going to clean off my supplies, or my tools, I should say, very quickly. And then I will show you what the Duo Gel backgrounds look like after they have been dried. Buddy, thank you. You got to move your body. You saw your hand in the screen? I'm going to just kind of wipe off some of this Duo Gel here. But because this is a fine detail stencil, I don't want to really scrub this hard because I'm going to ruin my stencil if I do that. So especially like with these little lines here, I don't want to ruin that. Okay, buddy? Would you please go play with your Legos? Yes, I know you saw your hand. So I have a trick that I learned from my friend Nicole. I have some Windex in a gallon baggie here. And I'm just going to put this in here. And normally what I would do is kind of lay this flat and gently swish this around. I'm going to leave this sitting here because this is what I did last night while I was prepping. and it worked a whole lot better. I didn't have to do any real swishing or anything. So I'm gonna leave this sitting here for a while. Let's check. Okay, I bought the Duo, but I haven't used it yet. Yes, so it's really easy to use, and the great thing about the Duo gel is you don't have to have a laminator. So I'm going to use my die cutting machine to transfer the foils, which is why I love the Duo gel. Can you heat set the Duo gel, or do you have to wait overnight? You do not have to wait overnight, just a couple hours. You're going to wait. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, sorry for that squeak. You are going to wait until your panels turn clear. So let me grab the one that we just did so that you can see the difference. Here's the one that we just did. And you can see how that gel is white. Now it is already starting to dry because this is such a thin application and there's not a lot of surface area. But here's what the ones I look like did overnight. Usually I haven't been waiting overnight, just for a couple hours. The reason I did this overnight is because since my son's school is closed for a while, I have gone back to crafting at night. So I have a couple hours at night to craft and not much time during the day because, as you can hear, it is a full-time job taking care of one child. So you really only have to wait a couple hours. You're going to want to wait until this is completely clear. And if you touch it, it's going to be tacky, but it's not really like sticky. Like it's tacky. It sticks to my fingers a little bit, but it's not like sticky. So I don't have, nope, I need you to go play with your Legos. I don't have a certain time. Really, I just wait until this is clear. And it depends on the surface area of the gel. If you're doing a huge background with a lot of area, it's going to take longer to dry. Something like this probably only took an hour to dry because on my sample piece, I can already tell that it's starting to turn clear in areas. Let's check some other. I do not recommend heat setting it though. I tried that once and it bubbled. And actually, it never fully dried when I tried to heat set it. So I don't recommend heat setting. So what kind of inks are hybrid? That depends on the manufacturer. Mine that I used in this video happened to be from LDRS Creative. You're going to want to look for inks that say hybrid. So a hybrid ink is one that is not water reactive and it's also not alcohol reactive. So there's moisture in the gels, in the Glitz Glitter Gel and the Duo gels. There's water in them. So if you're using a dye ink or like the Distress inks, they are dye-based. I have some Simon Hurley inks here. These are dye-based, so they are water reactive. So I'm careful when I'm putting gels over any kind of ink that is water reactive, especially if it's a white or a clear product, because I don't want to color contaminate those. Let's see. Okay, Lori, so sorry I froze. It depends on your background. Couple hours at the most usually, but you're waiting to see that Duo gel turn clear. So here's the one we just did, and it's not as white as vibrant as when we first did it because I can already tell some of these smaller areas are starting to dry, but you want it to be clear like this. Will you have a tip for using the leftover foil on the sheet? I'm not in this video, but I could plan for that. The way that I like to use leftover foil, I have two products that I like to use. Let me find them. Here's one. And here's the other. So it totally depends on what kind of materials you have at home. If you have a laminator, these toner sheets are so easy to do, and you can take a leftover piece of foil, just cut a piece of toner sheet. You can die cut it to a full card front, whatever you want to do, and then foil your leftover piece. If you don't have a laminator, easy cut adhesive sheets are great because you just cut a piece of the adhesive, stick it onto a piece of cardstock, and then stick your leftover foil right on top of there. You don't peel it off or anything. This adhesive is very strong. It's going to hold everything in place. So it's totally up to you which way you want to go. And I could plan to do something with leftover foil sometime in the future because I have a whole basket of leftover foils. I never throw anything away, and there's lots of things that you can do. And I know I've done a video recently on the YouTube channel and where I used both pieces, and I know some other people have too. What, baby? Oh, recycling. Yes, we recycle all of our art supplies. What kind of laminator do we recommend? We're not affiliated with any kind of laminator, but I do love, I have the Royal Sovereign, and I have found that that works really well. How do you use leftovers on your projects? I wonder if I can find one very quickly. It's okay, Buddy Bear. So here's one that I did recently, and this video is on the ThermOWeb YouTube channel, where I foiled a toner sheet from ThermOWeb, and then this piece, this background, is the leftover toner sheet. And what I used was that Easy Cut adhesive. I put a piece on white cardstock, and I put my leftover foil on there, and got a secondary background. So you can see it's the negative. Here's where the toner sheet was foiled. So anywhere where the foil was taken off for the toner sheet, you get that negative effect on the secondary card. That's one of my favorite ways to use leftover foil. Okay, I think I'm caught up on questions for now, but I love the questions. So if you have more, feel free to ask. We're gonna keep going. So here are the ones that I did last night. Same colors, same product. They're just nice and dry now. And I'm gonna grab the Unity and Deco Foil Silver Glitter Toner Card Front. Yes, I repurpose everything. So like every little piece goes either into my craft basket, or many times, since Jax is here, when he sees me pull out foils, which he calls tinsels, he will take the pieces and he will use them for, he has his own craft space, his own little cart and everything. So I'm going to cut these off because these are the only ones that I want to foil. And I don't want to waste any of my foil because, like I said, we don't waste pretty things here. So I'm going to cut these out. Oh, I cut through that star. That's okay. We won't use that one. So these are, it's okay. Those are the 4 pieces that we're going to foil. I'm going to do the same thing with my blue here. Okay, Buddy Bear. You got to be a little bit quieter. And we're going to do some foiling.
Your tinsel is so smooth.
The tinsel is so smooth. I know. All right, so here's my foil. When you're doing foiling, the back side of the cards or of the foil is what's going to make contact with your medium. So in this case, my medium is the Duo Gel. Whether you're using a toner sheet, Duo Gel, Transfer Gel Blanco, double-sided adhesive, you always want the back side of your foil against your medium. So I think I'm going to be able to fit all of my trees onto this one piece, especially if I cut these apart.
Me too, that can't fit.
They'll fit, don't worry. Don't you worry.
But if I had to be turn it around then to put it on.
You thought I would? Well, look at that. Does it work?
Yep.
Okay.
Get
Watch
them
out.
off.
We'll get them off in just a minute. So I have my die cutting machine here, just like I would use to set up a die. So I have for my Spellbinders machine, I have my platform, I have a cutting plate, and then another cutting plate. And this is usually where you would put your die and your cardstock in here. Oh, thanks. Yeah, he does have such a sweet, sweet little voice. And usually he's in school, so, but he is excited to be on his little break. Go ahead, you can put your hand in and wave. Go ahead. There you go. So I'm going to put these right through my die cutting machine. I'm going to place that on here, smooth that out just a bit, and run it on through.
You want to turn it?
You want to turn the machine? Okay, go ahead. Ready? Turn. Crank hard. Hard and fast, dear child. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Good job. Alrighty. So that's come through the other side. And now we're just going to peel off these trees. Oh, they're so pretty.
Cool, Missy.
You may see. What do you think? So that is the silver glitter foil. And they are so pretty. Love, love, love this. So we're going to peel off the other ones. These are going to be the green ones. What do you need?
After you did
You need that? Okay, go ahead. So like I said, we don't waste anything. He's waiting so patiently for his leftover tinsels. Now, here is where I got a little bit heavy-handed with my pixie spray last night. So I'm going to grab my little, I don't know if you can really see, but there is some foil in the background here. And it's where I don't want it to be. It's very subtle. But I have just a Tombow Mono sand eraser. And what I like to do is just kind of erase that away. It just sands it away. It does look like snow, doesn't it? It's very pretty. And if this was a full background, I'd probably leave it. But because I'm die cutting these out, I didn't want those little specks. So if you ever have leftover pixie spray on your background and you foil a panel, don't throw it away. You can grab a sand eraser, even if you have like an X-Acto knife and you lightly sand, you can easily scrape that away. And nobody's ever gonna know. So hot foils are not the same as toner reactive foils. All of the foils in the ThermOWeb line are toner reactive, and that is unfortunately completely separate from the hot foils. So with the Duo Gel, which is what I used here, you can use any of the foils on the ThermOWeb website, but the hot foils will not work with this. So now we're going to go ahead and die cut these trees. So I'm going to grab those coordinating dies. Sorry for the crinkling sound. I know it's horrible to listen to on camera. Okay, Buddy Bear, listen. Can you go play with your Legos? I know, I don't need much longer. Okay, but if you're going to watch, I need you to keep your little voice. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I have some purple tape. I have the dies. And I'm going to show you die cutting, I don't want to say two ways, but kind of two ways. Because if you notice, these dies don't cut out the toppers on the trees, which is so versatile because then you can have these don't have to be just Christmas. These could be just pine trees. They're great for masculine cards, which is something that I personally struggle with. But my dad is an avid outdoorsman and a woodsman, and he loves pine trees. So I can use these for Father's Day cards, especially if you use like an olivey color green. But for some of these, I wanted to keep the stars in place. So I'm going to show you a partial die cutting technique. So let's see, I messed up one of the stars. This one I messed up. So I'm going to die cut this just like normal. And I'm going to grab.
Are you going to cut a star?
I won't die cut the star on this one. I'll do it on a different one. Again, excuse my head as I get into the way. I'm going to cut that one out. I'm going to, I'm thinking which one I want to keep the stars on top of. I think I want to keep the stars on top of that one. And since I got a little bit off center on this one, I'm going to chop the star off of him.
No.
Yes, yes. I'll keep the star on him on the other one because I did better on that one. We got to work with our mistakes, right?
Yeah, that star.
I'll keep that star on the blue one. How does that sound? Good. So I'm going to line this up. Hold that in place with a piece of purple tape. Watch out, Buddy Bear. And then I'm going to die cut these.
I don't cut them.
You're going to cut them? Okay, go fast. Fast. I know, use those muscles. Use them.
Good for you.
There we go for me. Thank you.
Okay.
So here is my tree. And you could die cut first if you wanted to, die cut first and then apply the gel over the top. I found it much easier for me to stamp the whole panel and then add the whole stencil over the top. I know he, once we get off, he will quietly play with his Legos. What kind of tape is the purple tape? So this is the ThermOWeb purple tape. It is low tack tape. Never has it ever torn my cardstock. It's great. I think right now the only one in stock is the bigger one, which is great for, I use this one for masking a whole lot. So ThermOWeb purple tape, best tape on the market. Absolutely love it. It's low tech, but pressure activated. So when you use it, you want to press it onto your project and it'll hold tight. Okay, so you can see here, I have a little bit of foil up at the top because I did add that star on the top. Watch out because Mommy has a knife in my hand, okay? So keep your hands down to your sides. I don't want to hurt you. Okay. I'm just going to scrape that off. So this is another way how I showed you that that sand eraser. This is another way to remove any unwantedness on the tops of, or not on the tops necessarily, but if you have just a tiny little bit of something that you need to kind of scratch away and work away. Now, the Duo Gel allows you to use your die cutting machine, which means the reason that you can use your die cutting machine is because there's an adhesive in there. So if you have a ThermOWeb adhesive remover, if there's any little bits of Duo Gel left over, I'm just going to go ahead and rub that away. And now you will never ever know that I had any kind of foil or anything unwanted on the tops of the trees. Now for these two, I wanted to keep the stars on here. So I'm going to do just like what I did before. Grabbing my purple tape, I'll use the big one since I believe that that is what is in stock on the ThermOWeb website. I'm going to grab a piece, put my head in the camera so I can line this up, and then press that in place. Again, pressure activated, so press that in place and then it's not going to move anywhere. Same thing with this one. Line that up. But you can see here, if I was to run this through my die cutting machine, it's going to cut off that star, and I really loved these stars. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some partial die cutting and cutting with my scissors. So I'm going to put these on my plate. Instead of, putting your plate right on top like you normally would, I'm going to hang this off right about here so it's not going to cut through those stars. Let Mommy do this one, okay? Because this one's a special one.
Did they do this before?
I have done this before.
Cut the little star off.
It's not going to cut the little star off, but I have to put it in the right way because my machine is picky. It's like Mommy, just a little bit picky. Okay. Let me grab my fussy cutting scissors.
Have any tissues?
I do have some tissues, baby. I don't know where they are. I think the cat's probably knocked them over. Go ahead and grab one from up on Mommy's bed, okay? So when I pop these out, okay, you're going to see that they are not cut all the way. The bottom of the tree is cut, but the top is not. Oh yeah, the die cutting doesn't take off the foiling. It doesn't squish the foiling, because I tested it to make sure, because I didn't know if I would have to die cut first and then add the foil. Yeah, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm going to stick my scissors in here and kind of trim off this piece that already got die cut away. And then I'm going to just do some simple fussy cutting around that star. Again, this is a step that you do not have to do if you don't want to. But I loved those little stars and I thought that they were awfully cute. But I also didn't want to fussy cut that whole tree. So this saves me some time. Let's do that again with this one. Pop that off. And here's where you can see that that purple tape doesn't damage anything. trim off that excess piece, and then I'm just going to stick my scissors right up in there and just kind of continue that cut line.
When you make your letters.
I'm not making letters. I'm making trees.
Miss car, you have letters.
Oh yeah, we'll die cut the sentiment in a little bit. So there we go. So 2 different looks with the same die set. Without and with the stars. I'm going to put those over here. We'll do that one more time super quickly, but maybe we'll switch them because Jax really wanted to keep the star on this guy and this guy.
And all of them.
On all of them. Well, I don't know if we have enough time for that.
Okay. Some are regular trees and some are Christmas.
Some will be regular and some will be Christmas.
Oh.
That sounds like a great idea, Jax. So we're going to put those on there. Uh-oh, where's the top plate? There it is. Okay, watch out. I don't want to punch you in the face with my hand as I'm cranking.
You cut off the Christmas tree top.
I did cut off the Christmas tree tops on here. So I'm going to do just what I did before and scrape that off really lightly. Pop that right off. Perfect. We'll put that in our little dish. You want to do the same thing with this one?
No.
No? I think we should because it looks a little silly. And I think there's just a tiny bit of adhesive left on there. So I'm going to grab my ThermOWeb adhesive remover.
Bye.
Okay, bye. He's done. Gotta go. And then we'll do that partial die cutting trick one more time so you can see that once more. It's nothing new. Partial die cutting, I feel like, has been around for a long time. And it's something that I don't do a whole lot. Okay, go ahead, buddy. Something that I don't do a whole lot, but when I do it, I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And this one's a pretty simple one. And it takes little to no time to just cut off those extra stars. I covered up my star here, so I'm going to have to guess at where to put this cutting plate. We'll go right about here, I think. But so anything hanging out from underneath the cutting plate is not going to cut. So that's why the base of the trees are going to cut, but the tops, the stars, will not. Oh yes, you definitely need some of the Deco Foil Gel, and there's 2 kinds. 2 kinds of the Deco Foil Gel. There's the Blanco, which you must use a laminator for, and then the Duo has the dual function of being able to use it either in your laminator or in your die cutting machine. And I love both for different reasons and for different products. But the Duo Gel, I probably reach for 75–80% of the time because I don't need to drag out my laminator. I'm fortunate to have a dedicated area for crafting, but it's not huge. So I either have to decide if I want to have my die cutting machine out or my laminator out. And I use my die cutting machine a lot more than my laminator. So that's why I love the Duo Gel, because you can use it in your die cutting machine. And if you don't happen to have a laminator, you don't have to go out and purchase one. So again, I'm just kind of continuing that cut line here, cutting out those stars. And by the time we're done here, I bet that Glitz Glitter Gel background is going to be dry. We have one more piece to cut out, and that is the sentiment. So I'm going to I went with Happy Holidays for this one. So there's the Happy. And let's see if I can find the holidays. holidays. And again, I love that they are all separate pieces.
The back.
Your back? Okay. Oh my goodness, where did I put my pink block, Jackson?
What's the flock?
The fuzzy stuff that you love. Okay, I know I had my pink block out, but we may have to improvise and go with a different color. Do you see pink there?
Pink?
No, watch out, please.
What's flock?
I need you to please move, buddy. Please, to the side. Thank you. Away. Keep going. Keep going. Found it.
There's pink flock.
Pink flock. Pink carnation
Big one.
flock.
After you look at
So, Lori, if you don't have a laminator and you want to use the gel, definitely get the Duo gel because the Blanco gel, it requires a laminator to do foiling. And you can transfer flock with your Duo gel too. Today, we're just going to do some straight die cutting. I'm going to grab a piece of leftover flock. Like I said, we don't waste, we recycle everything. So, yeah, I need that though, Buddy Bear.
Oh.
Is it fuzzy? Yeah?
I love you.
You want to feel it? Go ahead, you can feel it.
So soft.
So soft. I'm just going to die cut this just like you would cardstock. And I love using flock as die cut pieces, cover plates, sentiments, whatever. I love to die cut it because it adds just a little bit of something. And there's a variety of colors, so you can pretty much find any color you need. And if you can't, they have white latte flock that you can spray with your sprays. You can ink with your inks. I'm gonna, let's see, I might need a craft pick to pop these pieces out, but you can see how easily, I think a lot of times the flock die cuts easier. Buddy, I need you to not touch that because that's gonna leak everywhere. Can you please pick that up? We have to find my craft pick. Here it is. Jackson, buddy, I need you to come over here so that you don't mess anything up over there. Thank you so much, buds. You can watch from right there.
You paused it?
I am not paused. I am still going. So, Lori, what is flock? She's asking. So, ThermOWeb has a variety of colors of flock transfer sheets. It's like fuzzy paper, kind of, and it's so hard to see the fuzz on camera, but it's soft, kind of like fleece pajamas. That's what it feels like to me. So, yeah, oh yeah, just Jax is wearing fleece pajamas, so he goes, feel mine. That is what it feels like, but it's in a sheet. You can die cut it. You can transfer it with the Duo gel, just like how we put the Duo gel over the stencil and transferred foil. With flock, you want to go flock side down. And when you run that through your die cutting machine and peel it back, instead of having a foiled tree, you would have a flocked tree. Lots of videos on the ThermOWeb YouTube channel. So right here where you're watching now on the ThermOWeb YouTube channel, there are lots and lots of videos of how to use flock. Definitely check them out. It is a very fun product. Lots of different colors. I personally love it for adding little accents, but I also love it for die cutting because it's kind of like a special paper, and it gives a little something special to your sentiments. Do you make it with, yeah, so it's just a sheet of the fuzzy paper, and then there's lots of different things you can do with it. What's up, Buddy Bear?
After me do my class, you need me start my class. You need to be really, really quiet.
Are you being really, really quiet for Mommy's class?
Yep.
Nope. Okay. So here's all my pieces. You can see I did some work beforehand because it would have taken quite a while to do all these colors of the trees. So I have some pinks. I have some kind of like lipstick red colors. We have those green and blue ones. Just kind of some non-traditional colors. I also, yes, took those Happy Holidays dies and I cut them 4 times from white cardstock. And I glued them out, or one on top of each other. to make a dimensional sentiment. Now I'm going to take those pink carnation flock pieces and glue them right on top of my dimensional pieces.
Let's do one piece. Why not do?
Well, don't lose that because I will need that, Jackson. These sentiments are quite dainty, and I didn't want to spend the time cutting tiny little pieces of foam tape. So instead, I cut all those pieces of white cardstock, and I'm just using that iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive pen. Love this pen because it's easy to hold. The glue comes right out, and I can get the tiniest little drops of adhesive. So I'm just adding dots as I go around my sentiment, dots of adhesive, and then I'm gluing those flock die cuts right on top. So that's going to give me the effect of having foam tape under there without all the effort, because I'm guessing that this is probably like a 32nd of an inch wide on each of the lines there. Okay, ready? I'm going to put that to the side. We're going to grab our background now. Here's our Glitz Glitter Gel background that we first started with. Now here's where you can see I didn't get that lined up quite perfectly in my Misty. So I'm going to grab my paper trimmer real quick and chop that off the edge. I know, it's not going to hurt. It'll be fine. Ready? I've got to chop it. Oh, got to chop a little bit more. Don't worry. And a little bit off of the bottom. You need those tiny little pieces of paper?
Yep.
Okay. Do you need that one too?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not sure what you're going to do with those little slivers of paper, but okay. So here is, oh goodness gracious. I dropped something. There we go. Here's that background with the Glitz Glitter Gel, all dry. Glitz Glitter Gel looks pretty much the same dry. It doesn't have that same effect of the Duo Gel where you're looking for something. I know that the Glitz Glitter Gel is dry when the back of the cardstock feels like normal cardstock, and it doesn't feel cool. If the back of your paper feels cool, your medium on top, your Glitz Glitter Gel, is still wet.
You're done.
What?
You done?
I am not done. I still have to glue some things together. So here's where I'm just going to take some of these trees, and you can see I have a whole bunch extra. So I'm going to be able to set some of these aside. I'll keep them with my packaging and make some more cards later on. But I'm going to grab some trees and just kind of arrange them. And I'm looking for some that have the stars on top.
Excuse me.
Yes, baby?
They go to show them with a Harry Potter.
Go ahead. You may show them very quickly. So Jax did a Harry Potter photo shoot, and we made a little snow globe, and he really wanted to show you what he looks like as Harry Potter. There we go. Good? Okay.
We go do a class of that.
Okay, sometime. Not right now, though, okay? Let Mommy finish because we're so close to done.
Okay.
Okay? Sounds good.
After you're done, we go do a shoot of the Harry Potter.
Okay, we will see. Okay. So I'm just taking some trees, and I'm just kind of tucking them behind each other, in front of each other. I'm going to vary the colors a little bit. I think I need another piece of blue. So let me see what I have in blue. We may go with this one. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Looks good.
Yep. Don't forget to put this one up.
I don't know if we're going to use that one or not.
Where's my favorite Christmas tree?
I put it on there. I put your favorite one right there. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Yeah? You like that?
I like a star.
I know that you like that star. Let's see. I wish I had one more pink one. Oh, maybe this one will work. That one's going to work.
Don't you have one more pink one?
Yeah, but
Oh no.
it wasn't quite the right color or the right shape.
This arranging?
We might just go like that. I think I like that. What do you think?
Good.
Yeah? Okay.
Words.
Oh. Yes, yes. Let's see. Just looking through the questions. What color oxide did I use on the background? This one is Cracked Pistachio. I was going with a non-traditional color palette, but I wanted to keep a little bit of tradition in there, so I went with that kind of minty green in the background. Okay, so now that I have my trees lined up how I want them to be, I don't want to mess it up because this takes me, not a long time, but probably longer than it should to figure out where I want things to go. So I'm going to take a piece of purple tape, cut that, not cut, rip, I guess, and I'm going to place this down over all the trees. This is not a new technique, but I think there's a lot of people here who are joining us for their first time. So this is something that I do a lot. Again, remember, pressure activated, so I'm pressing that on. Then I'm going to peel up all of those trees. I have 5 trees here, and I really want them to work with just as one piece, one line of trees. So I'm grabbing my iCraft Ultra Bond liquid adhesive pen.
Why are you moving?
Why am I moving?
No, that thing.
Because that's me. That's my hands moving. And I'm going to squeeze little bits of glue underneath where the trees overlap.
Why those little circles? Why those words going up, up, up?
Oh, those are people talking. They think you're really cute. A couple people said. I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
So now that that's on there, I'm going to give that a press and a second to adhere. While that's adhering.
Please don't tell my friends we are not the hippo.
Okay, I won't tell them that you're a little baby hippo. Here's my big old roll of foam tape. I use both sizes. There's a 1/8 of an inch size and a 1/16 of an inch size. I'm going to go with the 1/16 of an inch size so that I can easily mail this.
I touched the food.
You touched the foam?
Uh-huh.
Just like Finding Nemo?
Why?
It's a joke.
Why
I'm going to grab a piece and I'm going to put this right across the backs. So I have that glue holding these pieces in place, but now this extra stability of the foam tape is going to really hold all these pieces in place.
When do you take off the tape?
I will take off the tape in just a minute. Mommy's going to put some pieces going up the trees here so that they all have some stability. This foam tape is new-ish from ThermOWeb. This has come out in the recent couple months, and I'm obsessed with it. It's so easy to cut, and when I start taking these backers off, you're going to see how easily the backing of the foam tape comes off. I'm going to press those on, and then just stick my fingernails under, and that backer comes off so easily. It's like a dream, a foam tape dream. Now I'm going to grab this purple tape and peel this back.
I movie. You need to be really, really quiet.
Okay.
My wife.
I'm going to grab, so now you see how between that liquid adhesive, the Ultra Bond adhesive pen, and the foam tape, everything is stuck together on the front and on the back. They're not going anywhere. I have one piece to work with rather than 5 separate pieces. Do you have, Roberta's asking if ThermOWeb has narrow sentiment strip foam tape. So Roberta, here is what I use. There's these 3D foam strips. They're not super narrow. They're 1/2 an inch, so like here to here. But I use them with my scissors and trim them down really thin. I usually go either in, like cut it in half and then half again, so that it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. That's what I like to use if I'm looking for tiny little strips. I'm going to pop this right onto my card, kind of top center. And I love how those trees peek out in the background. And then my sentiment is going to go.
What's the sentiment?
Sentiment is like the words. So like happy holidays is this sentiment.
What's that sentiment?
That one says holidays. Yep, so it's 2 separate words. I have the happy, then I'm adding tiny little dots of glue with that Ultra Bond adhesive pen. And we'll stick that right there. Does that look good?
What's this?
Leave that there, that's stamp cleaner. I'm gonna set something heavy on top of that while I add some adhesive to the holidays. Okay. And then this card is going to be done. Oh no, I'm stuck. There we go. We'll stick the holidays on. I'm going to try to get that as straight as possible. The good thing about the liquid adhesive is if it's not perfect, it gives me a second to wiggle it around, which is what I'm doing now. And then I'm going to give it a press. And that's it. Let's show this up close so you can see all that goodness. Check out that silver glitter foil. Super pretty. And then there's that glitz glitter gel in the background over that Ornamental Pines background stamp. And then here's, oh, buddy, thank you. Here's the flock. Again, it's so hard to capture that fuzzy detail on camera, but it's textured. And so when you touch it, it feels like that fleece pajama feeling. And it's just a really fun touch to add. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that this was a lot longer than my usual lives, but I thought that I'd take my time when I saw there were a lot of new people, and I'm so excited that you guys asked questions. That makes me happy when you guys ask questions and I can answer. I hope that you learned some tips and tricks from how to clean your detail stencils to work in the with the grain of the stencil, kind of. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna check the chat really quick just to see if there were any last minute questions. And let's see. If you have the duo gel, Terry, you definitely need to use it. You can use it with the foils and the flocks too. So it's really, really awesome. Thank you guys so much. Just as one last reminder, if you are new here and you might not know about our ThermOWeb Craft Room on Facebook, if you go on Facebook and just search for ThermOWeb Craft Room, our Facebook group will pop right up. There's lots of inspiration shared there pretty much daily. Yep. You can always feel free to ask questions there, and either myself or one of the other moderators will be more than happy to answer your questions. So I think that is it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will be back. Let's check my calendar because I'm back soon, I think, soon-ish, with another live 2 weeks from now. So the 17th. I'm not sure of the time. This was a special time, so it might be 1 p.m. Central and 2 p.m. Eastern. And hooray, ThermOWeb has a surprise giveaway, a $25 gift card. So congratulations. I'm Lori, I hope that I say your last name correctly, but Lori Cohen, you are the random winner. So Julia has left her email address there. Be sure to email Julia to claim your $25 gift card. This is the Ornamental Pines Bundle from Unity, and this is available now on the ThermOWeb website. You're going to get, let's see if I can find all the products again, the dies, the stamp, the stencil, which is currently marinating in Windex cleaning. So, but that's included in the bundle. And then you're going to get both colors of foil. So the silver was what we used today, and then the gold is what I showed earlier in the video. So congratulations, Lori. Thank you, everyone who was here. We will see you again soon. Bye, you guys.
And pause.
Well, buddy, I have